Hello, Charlotte County, and welcome to Telling Your Story, History in the Parks. It's another beautiful day in paradise. My name is Joe Garzo, and I work here at History Services for the county. So this is the new sign we're dedicating. We're in beautiful Bayshore Park today, and I guess I'll just read it to you so you can, in case you can't see it at home. Charlotte Harbor has provided food, industry, leisure, and transportation since prehistoric times. The first bridge connecting the towns of Charlotte Harbor and Punta Gorda opened in 1921. But it was barely wide enough for 2 cars to pass. In 1931, the Baron Collier Bridge was opened as a replacement. This image shows the bridge looking south towards the late Hotel Charlotte Harbor in Punta Gorda. As population increased, the Albert Gilchrist Bridge was added in 1976 as southbound US 41, with Baron Collier Bridge running northbound. So there you have it. You had the Albert Gilchrist Bridge running southbound on 41, and you had the Baron Collier Bridge running northbound. So, who were these two men the bridges were named for? Well, Baron Collier was an advertising entrepreneur who became the largest landowner and land developer in the state of Florida. He also owned a chain of hotels, bus lines, banks, and newspapers. Albert Gilchrist was a surveyor who lived in Punta Gorda, and he was elected as a Democrat to the Florida House of Representatives in 1893. Later, he became the Speaker of the House in 1905. And most famously, in 1908, he became the 20th governor of the state of Florida. So one of my jobs for Charlotte County is I collect oral histories. I interview people around town, people who've lived here a long time. Back in August 2017, I had the pleasure of interviewing the late Margaretriggs. In that interview, she told me that she had the distinction of being born on that first bridge back in January of 1927, as her father was the bridge attendant at the time. She also attended the grand opening of the Baron Collier Bridge in 1931, and she told me great stories about what a wonderful time she had as a little girl. So I think the underlying story about the opening of the bridges is that it illustrates that early on, this county knew the value of knowing how to throw a good party. Both bridge dedications in 1921 and 1931 took place on the 4th of July and were very festive occasions. The 1921 opening was billed as a free fish fry and attracted 6,000 guests. This one, the population of Punta Gorda was only about 1,300. A concert by the Charlotte Harbor Military Band and a dance would take place at the Hotel Punta Gorda. John Hagan led a caravan of Model T Fords in a parade across the bridge. But that bridge had its share of problems. First of all, it was designed in 1915 when horse and buggy was the main mode of transportation. Thus, it was only 14.5 feet wide, and like the sign says, barely enough room for 2 cars to pass. The more serious problem was the deterioration of the concrete. So work began on that second bridge on December 1st, 1929, and it would cost just over $1 million, which was a lot of money at that time. Once again, the dedication would be on July 4th, 1931, exactly 10 years after the first bridge opening. And once again, a free fish fry was offered. And although the population of Punta Gorda only grew to about 1,800 at this time 14,000 people showed up. I guess they had heard about what a great time they had 10 years earlier. The Punta Gorda Fish Company provided 14,000 pounds of mullet for the occasion, and the Heinz Company sent down 6 barrels of pickles. Now, the Poinciana Ice Cream Company of Tampa, they sent 15,000 portions of ice cream. So I guess 1,000 people were able to get seconds on the ice cream. Anyway, at that time, the Punta Gorda Women's Club, which is located on Sullivan Street, by the way, and is a great historical building, the Punta Gorda Women's Club, they provided swamp cabbage, baked beans, coleslaw, and hush puppies for the occasion. And meanwhile, most of the men were congregated around Slim Key's Auto Repair, which was located behind the old Punta Gorda Courthouse, which of course is on Taylor Street. Harry Golding, in the book Our Fascinating Past, recalled that, and I'm quoting him, quote, "The garage was stocked with thousands of bottles of homebrew beer. Of course, this was during Prohibition, but the police looked the other way that day. The beer was none of that 4% stuff, more like 7 or 8. And Slim ran out of it at about 11 o'clock in the morning." So there you go, folks. Now you see that your rich history of partying here in Charlotte County dates back to your actual birth in 1921. Keep up the good work. Oh, and on another trivial note, who was the first person to cross the Baron Collier Bridge? Well, on June 14th, 1931, 3 weeks before the official opening, a sneak preview was given to a special dignitary. John Hagen Jr. escorted Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Edison, along with their son Charles and his wife, across the bridge for a sneak preview. The Edisons, of course, famously spent their winters in nearby Fort Myers. So there you have it. Hope you come down and check out our new sign here in Bayshore Park. Thank you for watching Telling Your Story, History in the Parks. My name's Joe Garzo, and happy birthday, Charlotte County. And remember to celebrate responsibly.